So for my dragon eye out of clay, what I have done is started with a slab roughly the size of my palm and used additional slab to score, slip, and smooth onto the surface to extend my overall dragon eye. Now, right now I haven't really sculpted it very much. So I've scored, slipped, and smoothed pieces of clay on here. The goal is to create a few raised textures and then a couple imprinted textures. So I would say 3 and 3. So right now I've got like a raised pattern or texture, which I obviously need to continue sculpting. Same thing with this. And I want you to practice using your clay tools before you even do this on your dragon eye and see what you can create just by using the tools themselves. What pattern or texture can you create that is well crafted? Okay, so I would grab an extra slab, use a little bit of water and or your thumb, honestly, to smooth out the surface, and then start messing with different tools that you have access to. Okay, how can you create a pattern, okay, using the tools that you have at your disposal? Okay, these carved textures can be really awesome to add into the surface of your clay. Okay, so that could be something that I add in here. I love the way that looks, but remember, get rid of that slab roller texture first, okay, because it just reads as unfinished. Okay, so 3 raised textures, patterns, 3 imprinted or pressed into the clay, impression patterns. Okay. Now I'm actually going to pop in the eyeball from the back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, given the size of my eye, I'm going to peel off a piece of clay, roll this into a sphere. Okay, so I've got, I don't know, maybe this is my eyeball shape. Let me make this a little bit larger. Okay, we're going to see if this size works for my dragon eye. Okay, remember the eyelid masks a huge chunk of the eyeball. Okay, so I'm rolling this around in my hands. I can also do this on the table. And what I'm going to do is I am going to literally carve this like an eyeball. Okay, so I'm going to make this kind of almost like a human eye. So I am going to start by carving the overall shape of the iris. So the iris is the colored part of your eye. Going to make this a decent size because I want a lot of it to show up. Want a lot of the iris to show up because I think I can do a really cool texture in there. Okay, so all I've done is I've carved this pretty large and in charge, okay, on my eyeball. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my back of my needle tool and jam it in here to make, okay, the iris, or sorry, make the pupil. Okay, so that black part of your eye that opens and closes when light is exposed to it. I'm gonna press that in. I'm gonna do a wagon wheel type shape or type texture for just the iris. If you look at your iris in the mirror, a lot of people have really cool, almost like really cool texture on it, or really cool pattern, I guess. It's not really a texture. We're making it a texture here though. Texture is something that you can feel. All right, this is looking awesome. Get rid of those clay boogers. I'm gonna carve this in one more time. In fact, I think I'm gonna try and use the clay tool here and just press this in. Using the small hand, or sorry, the small side of the clay tool. And anytime like little chunks of clay are displaced, try and get rid of them with your finger. You can smooth over it with a little bit of water. All right, so I think you kind of get the point with that. So this is my eyeball. Okay, now at this point in time, I'm actually gonna slice off about half of it. So my iris and my pupil are on this side. This is the back side of my eye. I'm just gonna slice it in half, get rid of some of that. Okay, don't need it. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a slit for my eye. Oh, part of the reason why I sliced off the back part of this is I just don't want this to be pop up any more than it has to. Now at this point I could score slip and smooth it on here and add my eyelid. I want to push it in from the back though. I want to see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is create a slit a little bit longer than my actual eye. So this is the longest. I'm going to take it over here and then also over here, I think. And I'm actually going to, it's a little bit longer. I'm going to make it go down ever so slightly. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I'm going to take a small chunk of this clay away, not very much. Okay. Not very much. Would not recommend doing that and holding this in your hand. I totally cut myself just earlier on this demo, so just FYI. I'm going to peel this out, okay? So this is kind of what I have so far, okay? And at this point in time, I am going to smooth this out ever so slightly. So I'm going to try and smooth this out, smooth this down, this opening. I'm not making it any bigger. I'm just trying to get rid of that extra clay here. Might use a little bit of water and my clay brush. Smooth it. Okay. Ooh, this is gonna look fun, I can tell, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I am going to try and press this in from the back. Okay, so I'm taking this, I'm pressing it, and I'm pulling it down ever so slightly to reveal the eye. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like from the back. All right, I think that looks pretty awesome. Probably should have cut that a little bit longer, but you kind of see what I mean. That looks so cool. Okay, and at this point in time, what I can do is I can push the clay down on either side like that. Okay, and once I'm good with that, I do need to score, slip, and smooth it in there, and then I'll repair that little tear that happened. Okay, so I'm gonna pop my eyeball back out very gently, and I'm gonna score, slip, and smooth it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So I think I had it here. I think I had it here. Adding a little bit of water off camera. Sorry, a little bit of water, a little bit of water. Okay. And I'm going to pop that in there. And before I turn around and kind of attach it from the back, I want to make sure that I got it on the front. And the goal is to not smear over this great texture that you have created. Okay, so we want to keep this eyeball texture intact. We just got to very carefully, you're performing a little eye surgery here. Okay, so I'm going to smooth this down to be the eyelid. And I am going to work it from the back as well. And I am going to repair this little section here. I'm going to repair that over there, but let me make sure it's scored. So right now it's not scored, slipped, and smooth from this side. So I want to make sure that this is completely in here so that it fires together. I don't got a lot of weird eyeballs rolling around in the kiln, right? Okay, so when you kind of smooth it in from the back, it's going to look like this. You can make it look prettier if you want. I don't think it's really going to be necessary because we're not going to see this from the back. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like from the back. This is what it looks like from the front. Okay, I'm going to add a smidgy of water. Smallest amount. Small, small, small. Use the best clay tool that you got, which is your fingers. And let me do a real quick repair of this section here. Okay, so let's say I want to make this eye look, you know, really realistic. I could add like a little tear duct in here, score, slip, and smooth it right in there. Okay. I don't feel the need to do that necessarily right this second, but here's what I can do. So I want to bring this together a smidge more. Add a little bit of water in there, a little bit of water. If I want, I could make this disappear. Note, I'm trying to avoid the eyeball area. I'm just working with the lid. Okay. Actually, now I do want to attach the little tear duct in there. All right, so at this point in time, you saw me kind of scale the eyeball to the piece that I had. Okay, you saw me carve in a decent size iris. So the iris is the wagon wheel part, it's the colored part. The texture of it makes it really stand out. Okay, you saw me poke in the iris. Okay, you don't necessarily have to do that shape for the iris. I liked using the backhand of this. I kind of poked it in a little bit deep because I wanted it to be, to catch a lot of light. And you saw me create the slit. Okay, so the slit here, I brought it down ever so slightly. Okay, carved it all the way through. And I pushed, I cut the eyeball in half, weird to think about, and I pushed it in from the back. Okay. Really cool.